Here's the only thing that was really disappointing to me about the Investor Day. It was the initial reactions to the Investor Day.
This was a middle finger to Tesla stock investors. This is how you burn the stock and create a downtrend. It's almost as bad as Elon dumping $24 billion worth of shares in 2022 to go focus on being the CEO of Twitter.
Initially, it seemed that most people were really negative, to a point that even Rob Maurer had to say this.
Some people reacting like Tesla didn't tell us anything new yesterday. If you didn't hear anything new, you just weren't listening. It's as simple as that.
I fully agree with Rob. And here is one of the biggest things that really fascinated me personally.
Tesla has also eliminated 75% of the silicon carbide. They have reduced the factory footprint of the drive unit factory by 50%. And they believe that the cost of their drive unit will be around $1,000. They said that that's probably the lowest of any automaker.
I think many people just simply do not understand how profound that statement was. If you look at Sam's research from ARK Invest, he says that typically the drivetrain is 25% of the cost of a vehicle. And if you have a $1,000 powertrain, once you include the batteries, and he is including a lot of batteries, I don't think we need that much for a compact vehicle. That's how you get a $25,000 vehicle.
Pair that with some of the advancements that Tesla talked about at Battery Day. If those costs can get down to, $70 per kilowatt hour, plug in whatever number you want there, but that's also before considering battery production credits. And if you're talking about a vehicle with maybe a 45 kilowatt hour pack, again, use whatever number there you want, but that would be $3,100 in batteries, another $1,000 for the drive unit, and you might have a full powertrain for $4,100. If we look back at the scenario that Pierre Ferragu mapped out before Investor Day, which remember yielded a 20% gross margin for a $27,000 selling price, that had $3,600 in batteries and $2,000 for the rest of the powertrain. So you could be talking even $1,500 less than those estimates in the scenario that seems relatively plausible for Tesla based on this information.
This is all a big deal, and it is indicating and pointing towards Pierre being conservative here.
They threw in a slide talking about not forgetting to do cool stuff, and the image that they share here has a pad underneath the vehicle, seeming to be a teaser for possibly wireless charging. Rebecca Tanucci, who presented this segment, does have a background working on wireless charging.
That was a nice touch that certainly many missed on the first day after watching the Investor Day.
The best thing for the business is to wait as long as possible before unveiling whatever the next vehicle is. Just like they did with the Model Y, the unveiling to actual shipping of that vehicle was a very short period of time. That was very intentional, as obviously the Model Y could take away from sales of the Model 3.
Just like the sales of the next generation vehicle could take the sales away from the Model 3 and the Model Y right now. This is what I have been saying for a long time.
So investors really shouldn't want Tesla to be talking too much about this stuff until it's really ready to go, and maybe that's part of the excitement. Oh, maybe Tesla is finally ready to go with this.
Well, clearly not at this moment yet, but it will come. So if someone is disappointed about the Investor Day because they thought that Tesla is closer to delivering and unveiling the $25,000 vehicle, that I can understand. But to me, it is not that important to see a $25,000 vehicle being unveiled. What is more important to me is to know that Tesla is not only able to build a $25,000 vehicle that is going to be compelling to customers, but also compelling to investors because it will have high profit margins. And looking at this, clearly, Tesla does not need to have a 75 kilowatt hour battery in a compact vehicle. And Tesla will benefit from battery credits, so that cost per kilowatt hour is likely going to be smaller. And because that motor that Tesla will make will have a hairpin design, which gives it a lot more power. Maybe I can make a video about that. But Dr. Know-It-All made a pretty good video explaining that. And then you add many other small things like going from 12 volts to 48 volts, which reduces copper usage by a lot, which makes the vehicle lighter, which then gives it more range, allows you to use power steering that does not need as much power. It's this whole domino effect. Sandy Monroe did a good video explaining all of the hidden messages and Easter eggs from the investor day. So it was really interesting to see this huge negative reaction initially. I think the sentiment generally overall was more negative, a lot more negative than it was positive. And I did a poll about this as well, and that was very clear. And I want to come back to Meet Kevin here for a moment. If you watched this video, it was very clear that Meet Kevin is extremely pessimistic about Tesla stock to a point there, I would think he's probably going to sell it.
This is how you burn the stock and create a downtrend. It's almost as bad as Elon dumping $24 billion worth of shares in 2022 to go focus on being the CEO of Twitter.
Although Meet Kevin wants to hold Tesla stock for multiple years, he does trade Tesla stock when he thinks it is going to go down. If I personally was to trade Tesla stock, which I do not do, I just buy and hold long term. But if I saw something as bad as Elon Musk selling Tesla stock, which certainly puts downward pressure on the stock, I would sell my stock immediately. And when I say bad, I mean short term. Unless there's some sort of bad reason behind Elon selling Tesla stock, then that's a different conversation. Although generally I don't like when the CEO sells the stock of the company. That makes me look much deeper into the company. Is it all right, or is there something going on? But it certainly puts downward pressure, at least short term, certainly. And we can look at Meet Kevin's ETF, the one that's called Pricing Power right here, PP. Alexandra collects data regularly every day, and this is data between February 27th and March 2nd. And you can see right here, if you see any number here, that means Meet Kevin either sold or bought Tesla stock. Like, for example, here, Gary Black sold a little bit of Tesla stock, which to me would suggest that Meet Kevin is still bullish on Tesla stock long term. And that was a huge overreaction.
But it's a middle finger to Tesla. And what you saw today with this presentation at Tesla was basically what Tesla looks like without Elon Musk. And you know what the reality is? It's bad.
We know that Gary Black was critical of the Tesla Investor Day, but here's what even he said about Elon being at Tesla and the team.
Are you reassured on the fact that, Elon's presence is sufficient? Because given what we have been presented, I mean, I didn't see anything missing. I didn't have the feeling the last 6 months there was anybody missing that would have not made this possible.
No, I think it's very clear. I mean, there's two things they really got across at the presentation. One, the breadth of management is huge. And look, Elon can attract the best talent. There's no question. People want to work with the guy. Okay, so that's one. And two, I believe, and most people believe, that they can get the cost down by 50%.
So Gary Black is happy with the management. I don't think he is upset about that at all. He is just not happy that Tesla did not directly address how to get to 20 million units. I think Tesla addressed that, and clearly Gary just said that he believes Tesla can get down the costs by 50%, but for him, that is not proof enough that Tesla will be able to sell 20 million vehicles per year. Gary wanted to see the exact pricing and volume interaction. So I am actually personally quite happy with Gary Black. I really respect him because he has an opinion, and it appears to me that he gave it a lot more thought than most who were negative about the Investor Day, and only after thinking it through, for the most part, only then he shared his opinion. After reading all of Gary's tweets, I don't think he missed any of the important details or any of the hidden messages. I think he gets it all. He just fundamentally has a different view because he does manage a fund. So that's why he is being somewhat negative about the Investor Day, not because he missed anything. Most other people are negative because they simply missed what Tesla gave and delivered during the presentation. And I personally get disappointed when I see people jumping to conclusions very quickly and then stating their conclusions as facts before really digging deeper into everything. Nothing against Meet Kevin, and he flip-flopped since then, and I welcome that. But he said only Stephen Mark Ryan could make this Investor Day presentation a positive. And even though Stephen Mark Ryan said that Kevin is trolling 1000% for sure, no question, I would strongly disagree with that. If you watched this video, then you will think that me Kevin was indeed very serious. And this, I thought, was just a sad, sad comment. Tesla lovers lost respect and interest after seeing the dumbest investor day. But then it turns out that same person left a comment on this video that I made about 2 months ago, when Tesla dropped more than 11% in one day and was at $109. And this comment from about 2 months ago said, "Are you dumb? Sorry to say this. When the stock is plummeting every day 10%, how can you recommend that it is a buying opportunity? Tesla is a poop company at this time. Please stop recommending it. You will see Tesla touching $60 in 2 weeks." I wish it went down that low. I'm just really sorry for anyone who did not buy the stock back then. And to be clear, I'm not telling anyone to buy or sell Tesla stock. I'm just sharing what I am doing. I was buying Tesla stock when it was coming down. It just absolutely astonishes me when people make statements that seem more like facts, and then looking back, you see that it was not right, and yet again, we have the same thing again. I have one challenge, and that is when I make videos sometimes, I have more thoughts and things that I want to share, but also a lot of people that watch me for the first time watch these videos here on YouTube, and sometimes it's just not appropriate to share all of my thoughts with a larger audience. But if I could only share it with people that already watch me, then that would be much easier. So that's why I started a Patreon account. And in this video, warning, do not get confused, some Tesla investors did, I share more details that I would have shared in this video if my audience was much smaller. So from now on, I will post regular videos on Patreon that are much more suitable for a smaller audience. For example, some things are really interesting to you guys that already know me, but are of no interest to people that watched maybe a few videos of mine in the past. And therefore, it would not be really that appropriate for me to post this on this channel, as not that many would be that interested, I think. And also, generally, I found that I post short videos on YouTube, they don't do nowhere near as well. But for Patreon, even if I have a thought or an idea that's just 2 or 3 minutes, but would not be that appropriate to share in a separate video, Patreon, I think, is going to be the place. So I will have shorter videos there with some perhaps provoking thoughts and ideas. This video, I would not consider provoking, but there will be some content from time to time that will be more like that. The link to sign up will be down in the description as well as in the pinned comment down below. And this is the Tesla stock buying opportunity explained by Elon Musk. My name is Matt Post. Just like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.